What's good everyone, I hope everybody's doing well. I'm back, I've got more juicy stuff that's a result of Azucena's changes in patch 1.05, and this time we're going to be focusing a bit more on the Libertador stance and how you can use it to enforce real and easy pressure that she didn't really have in the previous patch. So basically the way it works is, Azucena, her Lib 2, this move right here, it's a 14 frame mid, and you know, she's got a lot of easy to force situations that are +4 on block or +4 on hit. Things like while standing 3 into Lib, which is +4, or the back turn 3, which is +4, or even the heat smash, which on block is +6. She's got a lot of these situations where she can easily force you onto her plus frames when she's got Libertador stance. And one of the moves that locked people down from moving around in Lib stance was the 2. In a lot of these situations, pretty much everyone can't step it, and it's 14 frames at +4, which means it's going to trade with almost every button in the game, so you could use it to keep your opponents in check. But the issue was on the previous patch that whilst it was a heat engager, when the heat was gone, it would just hit them away and the pressure would be gone, and at the wall it would sort of just give you a lot of plus frames, but it wasn't too crazy, and a lot of people, you know, they wouldn't be scared to mash on it or try and move around and get hit by it. It wasn't a very threatening move. So keeping in mind all of those properties that I just mentioned, the borderline homing nature of the move, and the fact that it's a frame trap in most of these situations, and it's a mid, a safe mid at that, this move is now a wall splat at the wall, and in the open gives insane plus frames where the opponent can't step after they get hit. So I've just got my heat off at the moment so it doesn't do the heat engager, but in the open it looks a bit like this. +21, I know it hits them far away, but Azucena has a lot of approach tools and they can't step here. So for example, you could hit them with Lib 2, and then go for forward 3 +4, and you're back +4 in Lib. Or you could hit Lib 2, and you could just go into back turn, and confuse your opponent by, you know, going back and forth between back turn and Lib. This forward 3 +4 move is really good, but it's also really linear, it's really slow, it's hard to enforce. But Lib 2 gives us so much time that we can get it for free, and keeping in mind, it's also, you know, chip damage on block. It's 8 chip damage, so they eat the Lib 2, and then they're pretty much forced to block 8 chip damage. And if they duck here, remember, the recent buff as well, you can go for the move and it knocks them down for a free follow-up. So they don't really want to be ducking into this either, so it really locks them down. So just to remind you of the strength of the move at the wall, once again, Lib 2, it's a wall splat, and you can do your full combo. Look at that, that's 58 damage. So this move, it makes the opponent not want to step, not want to press most of their buttons, and not want to duck. So basically, anytime you get plus frames into Lib, then you have all the time in the world to do what you want, because the opponent is essentially forced to freeze in most cases. So I'll show you how. So what are some ways we can enforce this? Well, just say I have my opponent at the wall right here. I've just got them to block and then step after. One thing I could do is maybe go for while standing 3. And then if they try to step my 2, they get wall splat, and I can convert a combo off of that. And we can do the same off back turn 3. +4, go for the 2, and they get caught. And they're going to get caught if they duck. I can also record the Dragonov to press on me. So let's go for, say, a jab. I could do the while standing 3, and when they go to jab me, we trade, but I get the best of the conversion. And I can still convert my full wall combo. So it's really insane. So as a reminder, this is off while standing 3, back turn 3, the heat smash, and even forward 3 +4 if you can get them to block it, which you often can because you can loop the situation in the open. So now that the opponent doesn't want to duck, they don't want to press, and they don't want to step, we can literally do anything we want from Lib now, so we can enforce any mind game we want. So just say maybe you go for while standing 3, you can go for this 16 frame low, which is kind of a mix up to the mid, because it's very risky for them to duck the mid here, right? So it's like getting the low for free. Or if you wanted to go for the higher risk mix up, you could know that your opponent's not going to, you know, attack you out of it, because, you know, the 1 + 2 is 18 frames, and the hell sweep is 19 frames. So sometimes people try to mash on you here, but you know with the Lib 2 that they might not anymore. So you could go for while standing 3, you could go for a hell sweep. If you really wanted to, you could try and mix Lib 2 with the hell sweep, but against stronger players, it's not going to work very well, because the Lib 2 is 14 frames and the hell sweep is 19 frames, so you'll have strong players that will fuzzy guard it because there is a 5 frame window, so someone might backdash into a down block and will cover both options, or you might even have players that are like looking for the animation and they recognize a slower animation is coming out in the hell sweep and they go for the duck, not exactly reacting to the hell sweep, but more so ducking on reaction to a slow animation. It's going to beat both options there too, so just be a little bit careful, but if you did want to mix lib 2 with the hell sweep, or you wanted to try to at least, you could add a little shimmy. So you could go for while setting 3, shimmy a little bit, and then do the 2. That could confuse your opponent. But if you wanted to change your timing, you know generally that you can, because your opponent's unlikely to press on you. So you could go for while setting 3, and you could, you know, strut at them a little bit, and then go for a 50-50, and just really try to throw your opponent off. You could even go for the lib 1 chip damage mind game. So you could go for while setting 3 and chip them out. And this is particularly strong with the heat. So I'll just put the heat back on. If I just have heat activated, you know, this is going to do a lot of chip damage every time. And after the lib 1, you can check with the 2 because it's +3 into 14. So that means that the only way the opponent's going to outright beat our lib 2 without using armor and rage arts and stuff like that is by doing a 10 frame move. And what are they usually? They're jabs and they're down jabs. And what can Azucena do with heat activated? Well, of course, if we just set Dragunov to jab at us here, I think you know what's going to happen. You check him with the 1, and then, you know, all of this stuff happens. The auto parry kicks in with the heat, and it is there without the heat, but it's more devastating with heat. So that mind game's scary. So, you know, you can bait them to jab or down jab, and then, you know, the lib 2 will keep any other moves in check other than armor and stuff like that. Now, one option our opponent does have that will beat the lib 2, and a lot of our options, is going for a power crush. And this was common. I've seen people power crush on lib all the time. So if I went for, say, while setting 3 and I went for lib 2, that power crush is going to beat me. It's going to be the same off the back turn 3 as well. They're going to get out of my lib 2. But we have some even stronger options thanks to the new patch again, in addition to our old ones. So, you know, one of the most common ones and the safest ones is if you think a power crush is coming, you could just go for it and then crouch cancel and do a punish, and that's going to be super strong at the wall because the 1-2 is a wall splat. Another common one we have is the universal mechanic where you know, armor can't go through throws, so we could go for while standing 3 into a throw, and that's going to be a, you know, 340 damage on that one as well. We could even punish with the throw if we wanted to by cancelling and then going for the throw. That could be a good punish if you're in the open. But as a reminder, the command throws for most characters, they don't track anymore. So if you do go for, say, back turn 3 into a grab and they actually move, they're going to step the grab. So you can't throw it out as much anymore. But we have a new insane high damage option, particularly for when you're out in the open. And it's the lib 3 1 change. So as a reminder, what changed with this one is that, so it knocks them down like this. And this is really important because lib 3 1, the full string on counter hit, is natural. And it's also natural on a delay. So if I delay it a lot, I can still get it. Now there is a max delay on counter hit where it's not going to work. On that delay, it's not going to work, but it's still a huge delay window. So what this means is, if we think a power crush is coming, we can actually go for while standing 3 or back turn 3 or any of the plus frame situations, and then throw out the 3, and if we see any sparks or the opponent moving and attacking, we can then press the 1 and counter hit confirm it for huge damage. So here's an example. I do while standing 3, I press 3, then I confirm when I see the sparks, and I get a free back turn 3. That's 56 damage, and not a lot of that is recoverable. So same goes for the low. If we think power crush is on the table, or a lot of buttons, we can do back turn 3, check, and then counter hit confirm that, and get so much damage. How crazy is that? And this works, of course, because you can't armor through lows. So we're checking them with a low, and then just counter hit confirming it. It's so strong. Obviously they can low parry, but remember that the lib 2 is there, and that's a risk as well. So all the lib buffs work so well together. You use the lib 2 to lock your opponent down, stop them from moving, attacking, all of that. And then when they resort to things like power crush, you can then go in and use this 3 low, for example, or you can do a throw, or you can wait, and you can really force them to take risks, especially because we have a wall splatting 10 frame punish. Now, obviously there are exceptions to the lib 2's tracking and capabilities. Characters like Lily and Alyssa can actually walk it left in a lot of situations, so you just got to be careful against some characters like that. And then you've also got, you know, characters like Yoshimitsu who have the flash. It's a 6 frame attack in most cases, and that's going to beat us as well. So there are exceptions to the rule, but they're very few and far between. So this is a very safe game plan, and then you can just play around the other characters and their options instead. Also, I just wanted to show, be a little bit careful when your while standing 3 is blocked at tip range, as the while standing 2 tracking does become a lot worse. We can see even Dragunov is able to step it to the left here, so be careful with the spacing, but it should be very easy to get this blocked up close because it is a full crouch mix up in a way for our full crouch down forward 3, and at the wall they shouldn't be moving anywhere, so just keep this in mind. And that's going to be it for me. We could talk about all the options for ages, but this is the main way of how to enforce it. So give it a go on your lib situations. Try using the 2 to catch people who step and press or duck, all of it. Use it a few times and then try and enforce something else. It's really strong, but I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.